I feel like this is an important topic. But that's just me. That's my opinion. So what I want to do today is talk about how I rate books, because I think it is something that needs explaining. And I'm only doing this because one of my friends was like, Brittany, how the heck are you gonna rate that book 3 stars? You gave this one 2. So hi, let me explain. I'm gonna explain myself today, all right? Simply, no one asked for this. But I want to do it. Let's get started. I am an unprofessional book critic, okay? And for me, the enjoyability factor doesn't really matter because I enjoy the act of reading in itself. It doesn't matter what I'm reading. I'm enjoying it no matter what. Reading has always been a hobby for me, literally since I was in elementary school. If you watched my introductory video to this whole platform, it has always been a part of who I am as a person. And as I've aged and grown and learned more about writing, I have become more critical in regards to how I rate books. So I say enjoyability doesn't factor in, but it does to an extent. So the bottom tiers, if I don't like a book, you're gonna know about it. So here we go. I'm gonna start at the bottom. A 1-star read for me. I will give, and this does not seem fair, but it's just who I am. I give 1-star ratings to books that I DNF. Maybe I am part of the problem. I'm sorry. If I didn't enjoy it within the first 100 pages, it's getting a 1-star DNF. So there's that. A 1-star for me could also be a book that has very poor writing, poor character development, very poor plot. So for example, I have The Bet by Rachel Van Dyken, which I read in the My Husband Chose My TBR, This Is How It Went video that I published. That book had terrible writing, terrible characters, and terrible plot, i.e. there was none of that. And in my opinion, that would be a 1-star read. And I consider my 1-star reads to be authors I would never reach for again. And so I have read others of Rachel Van Dyken's books. I read the Elite series, or part of it, until I just simply grew fed up with the same plot over and over again. And I didn't hate that as much as I hated The Bet. The Bet read like a first draft, and that's why it was a 1-star for me. It is also the deciding factor in why I will never pick up another Rachel Van Dyken book. So that covers the 1-stars. Terrible writing, terrible plot, terrible characters, would not reach for them again, and possibly a DNF. So a 2-star read for me would be just a little bit above a 1-star. 2-star reads for me are moderately developed characters, slightly better writing than a 1-star. Maybe there's a little bit more to the plot. The plot would be what keeps me going in a 2-star read. The author of a 2-star book for me would be given a second chance. Now, I rated Credence by Penelope Douglas 2 stars because we were lacking a little something, but it was just enough there to keep me going. So I would give Penelope Douglas a second chance. I also have a bunch of 2-star reads within another series, the Havoc Boys series by C.M. Stunich. The plot is also what kept me going in there. It was just like one minute plot point that I needed to see through to the end. And so even though I gave a bunch of the book 2 stars, I did end up finishing the series. And then we move up to 3 stars. 3 stars is really where the enjoyability factor starts to play a part. A 3-star read for me is average. All around, simply average. Average writing, average character development, average plots. I would read more from the author of a 3-star read. And like I said, this is where my enjoyment becomes a factor. If I am enjoying it thoroughly, it's gonna get a 3-star. If I find that the writing is not terrible, like with The Bet and some of the other books that I've read, it's gonna get a 3. 3 is for me fine. Just fine. Nothing really great jumps out at me about a 3-star read. A 3-star read for me is something that might not be memorable at the end of the year. A 3-star read for me is something that I probably will be able to tell you like major plot points, but I can't talk in depth about it. We are no longer experiencing the chaos of dog zoomies. So let me round out this last little bit of my rating system. A 4-star read for me is an incredibly well-written book. It falls just short of excellent, but it is still very, very close to being a 5-star read. A 4-star for me is often going to be a book where I did not necessarily like the ending, meaning the whole buildup of the book was looking to be a 5-star, and then something in the end just left me wanting, left me feeling incomplete. It was not a clean ending, if you will. For example, Sherry LaPena's Not a Happy Family was a 4-star read for me, only because I hated the way that that book ended. So a 4-star read for me, the author's name is going to jump out at me. If I see it on a bookshelf in a bookstore, if I see it on a friend's shelf, if I see it at the library, I'm gonna be like, oh my God, I need to read that because the last book that I read from them was great. And then we have the elusive 5-star read. Of course, as soon as I start recording, here she is trying to bite my hands. A 5-star read for me is damn near perfect. I am a huge fan of this author. If they've been given a 5-star, the writing, excellent. The plot, excellent. The character development, excellent. If it's a 5-star for me, you can bet your bottom dollar that the next time I see that author, I'm buying their book. Probably have not stopped talking about the author or the book since I finished reading it. I think about it to this day. That's the sort of thing that would give... Those are the sort of things that would warrant a 5-star rating for me. 3, 4, and 5-star reads are all books that I like vastly enjoyed the process of reading. A 2-star read, I probably enjoyed the whole process of reading, but there was something that irritated me the entire time that I was reading. And a 1-star read for me is I straight up did not have a good time. Oftentimes I DNF 1-star reads, or I will complain endlessly about a 1-star read if I've given it that rating. So I know that nobody asked for this, but I hope that it kind of gives you insight as to who I am when it comes to reading. This is of course going to be a little bit shorter of a video for me, but I do still want to know what like makes a 5-star read for you. I really want to know because I think that we're all chasing that 5-star read, but I think that everyone is different in terms of what makes a 5-star read. So for example, for me, it's not just the enjoyment factor. I also need the writing to like pack a punch. Please let me know in a comment below how you feel about what makes a 5-star read. Thank you so much for being here with me. I do hope that you'll stick around and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.